How do you make a £400 movie look like a £30 million movie? Well, a film set to do surprisingly well in Cannes this year has pulled it off. It's being described as similar to the Blair Witch Project, a low-budget movie called Molly Crows. It's a new indie, supernatural thriller based on a true story and stars two Oxford actors who join me today. Hello, welcome to the programme. John Healey and Yvonne Baum. Thank you for coming in.
Hello.
So, this is exciting, isn't it? You know, this is a small film that's set to do incredibly well at Cannes. And did you ever think this would happen when you got involved?
I knew from the beginning it was going to be pretty special, didn't you?
You had a feeling?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What about you, John?
I think Yvonne's right. Everybody shared the sense. They didn't know where it came from, but everybody shared the sense that they were getting involved in something unique and special.
All right. Well, before we talk about the film itself, tell me a little bit about yourself. So, have you always been acting, or your backgrounds? Where did it all come from?
Well, I've always been dabbled in the performing arts. Obviously, I've got two boys that are now 18 and 15. So I had a big gap in the middle. I was a musician before, did some acting in my 20s, but then I had a long teaching career, which was sort of around my children's school runs
and
everything.
Did you teach arts?
I taught music mainly, actually. So I taught music, instrumental music within some Oxford schools.
Do your pupils know that you're in this film?
I don't think they do. I suppose some of them that are probably friends of my sons, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I certainly got them to promote it on Facebook and so on. So they might well.
And what do your sons think about you being in a supernatural thriller?
Well, I don't play anything too scary. So,
they must be quite proud of Mum.
I think,
it's quite a cool thing to do.
I tend to go on about it a little bit, sort of, and I'm getting them to. I don't think they quite realise how, what my role is in it yet. So maybe when they see it, they'll be amazed. They might be amazed.
John, what's your background? Because you're a psychic.
Yes, I've been involved in the brand leader in psychic interactive television. I've been involved with Psychic Today through all its formats since about 2004.
So how do you get from being a psychic to being an actor? Do the two go side by side?
They have in my life.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about acting, if we're talking about the performing arts, then my background in that actually goes back to the Oxford visionary Roy Copeman, who started the Pegasus Theatre, which still runs and is still massively successful in Magdalen Road, just off the Iffley Road. I performed there in the last show I did there was Schaefer's Black Comedy.
So let's talk about the film and how you got involved. Was it friends of friends? Was it who you know in this industry?
How did you come across Ray? Or I think you met Layla first, who's one of the other actresses in the film, didn't you?
Yes, Layla has a really important role in the film, but she knew the director. The director was very, very interested in getting me to play a particular part.
He had you in mind.
He had me in mind.
Right.
I must have a face for horror films.
You definitely look the part.
Well, let's just describe you for people that I don't know if the webcam's working, but you've got quite long hair, and I think that you've got quite a look to you. Would you agree?
I'm sorry. I've got quite a look.
Quite a look. You've got quite a distinctive look. Would you?
Thank you very
agree?
much. Thank you very much. I think for the part that I play, the director Ray Wilkes. I say this about Ray. I haven't come across a director. I think since someone like the great Italian Sergio Leone, who has got such... You'll see this in the film. You'll see this time and time again. Ray has a way of finding the right face for the right part.
The face fitted for the role. Okay, we'll see. Well, so that was your way into it because he had you in mind. What about you?
Yeah, well, I met Ray. I actually met him through social media. So we were chatting on Facebook. I wanted to be involved in films. We then met. Actually, no, before that, I did a YouTube audition. So my role as a teacher, actually I already was a teacher, so it was really kind of... So he obviously saw me, and and as John was saying, he's picked these people out. They're almost the character. They haven't had to change their character too much in the film. And then I met him, and then I did a sort of did my 3 scenes, and
it's interesting that you're both from Oxford. Did you know each other before you got on the set?
Absolutely
not.
No.
Small world, isn't it? Small world. So tell us about the film. In a nutshell, what's the film about? We know it's a supernatural thriller, but for anybody, they can watch the trailer on YouTube. Can you just sum it up in a sentence or two?
We have to come at this from 2 angles. So you come at from one angle.
I would say first, when you first described it as being like Blair Witch, and I was saying actually it's really not like that. The only similarities are that it's an independent film and it's on a very low budget.
Yeah.
But
the actual plot, completely different.
Plot, yes. I mean, the plot, I think I might leave that to John, because John knows a little bit more about Molly Lee, who is the focal. She's the star in the film. So
okay, John,
if you want to go.
But we've got to do something when we rehearse this. So we've just got to say, are you ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's not a zombie movie. We want your listeners to be very clear about that.
Because I think
you've made that pretty clear.
Well, I think there's a big trend on zombie films at the moment with independent, and it's definitely not that. It's a very intelligent film and with very strong drama. All
right. So, John, tell us a little bit about Molly Crows then, from your angle.
Yes, the Crow element is of course a strong supernatural element that if you like creeps into the film. But Molly Lee was a character who would have lived in the 16th century. She would have been a young woman, and the film does bring out that she was she was the projection for other people's fears, unhappiness, and their dissatisfaction with their life at that point. Now that if we go back into that time, and if you think of other plays, Arthur Miller's The Crucible, for example, it's very easy to get into the sense of here's an isolated individual who could be the butt of other people's projections.
So today it could be somebody that with a learning disability. She could be just a strong character. She could just be the black sheep of family or so on. But in those times, she was a witch. She was
so definitely not a zombie film. We got that. And what the sort of film you're talking about is quite a popular genre, isn't it? The supernatural. I mean, Twilight is an example that was huge. Do you think your audience will be, the people that watch this film will be the Twilight audience, the sort of teenagers, or do you think it could be it'll appeal to everybody?
I think actually Ray did a lot of research within horror fans, and this was the main. When he wrote the script, he all through the film, actually every time he filmed a scene, he got the horror fans to view it and thumbs up, thumbs down, and then if it wasn't right, he'd shoot it again. And the one thing that the horror fans said that they like in a good horror film is the dialogue, the script, not the special effects and so on. So that's that. I think what. You think, John,
Yvonne's right here, because I think what's also on offer is an engaging and adult drama.
So it is an adult.
It's not about special effects. That's the main thing, isn't it? It's about the story.
It's
about the story.
It's a gritty drama.
Yeah.
It's an underdog film, so it's not going to be a Twilight for sure. It's going to be a sort of cult. I mean, in the way. I mean, I want to mention Blair Witch again, but I mean, that was a bit of a cult film at the time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess I guess. That maybe is.
Well, the view we came that we, because you and I talked about this, and the view that we came to was that we could put our hands on our hearts and say, this is bringing horror back from the dead.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we'll talk more a little bit about that, and maybe trips to Cannes, which is very exciting. BBC Radio Oxford. Hello, this is Ali Jones until 4. Yvonne Baum and John Healey are here, actors in a film that's getting quite a buzz about it. Now, let's just talk about more of the buzz. It's Molly Crows, and it's been submitted to Cannes. But when you got involved, you didn't get paid for it? You did it for nothing? Why did you do that?
No, in fact, everybody, they're all together about 70 or 8, between 70 and 80 actors involved. Some of them were children, so their parents did the bought sandwiches and sat outside for hours.
A real love for film to do this.
I think because, what happened with Ray is that he created a massive buzz and people just wanted to be involved with it. We had, was one actor...
from This Is England.
From This Is England, the BAFTA award film. He approached Ray. What's his name? Hang on, I've got the names written down here. His name is George Newton.
Big stars wanting to be involved.
Yeah. We've also got Samira Mohammed Ali, who's just been cast in the Doctor Who film in LA. So we've got very up and coming actors, and just a lot of people wanted to be involved with it. Yes, we didn't get paid. But we believed in this so much, and Ray's vision, that we wanted to be involved, And so...
Well, I saw the trailer, and it's not exactly Love Actually, is it? Let's be honest. It's very different. It is a thriller, and it's hugely exciting when you watch the trailer. It's had 14,000 hits, I think, on YouTube.
Oh, it's 20. We're up to 20.
20. It's climbing. It's probably 25 now. And tell us about Cannes, the film festival. So how's that working? You haven't actually seen the film yet, which is very unfair if all these judges are going to watch it before you. So they look at it and then they decide if they like it.
Yeah, it's been accepted at the Portobello Film Festival, hasn't it?
Yes,
so
it's got that.
But with Cannes, it's difficult to even get accepted to get in there to be even considered. So at the moment it was, we've been accepted in there, and it's sitting there now, and then they're going to be watching it, and then we'll have to wait and see, really.
So what happens when you get to see it? Because you haven't even seen the scenes that you shot. So are you a little nervous about that?
I've been told good things about my little bit.
What about you, John?
I'm confident. I'm confident.
No, I think the few people that have seen it they said, "Wow, just wait till you see this." These are people that their judgment. So, but we will get a free viewing. Cast and crew will get a free viewing in Stoke.
It's not quite Cannes, is it, really?
Bag of crisp pork scratchings.
But listen, when it goes global, you'll be then promenading down the Cannes promenade. Something like that. Do you think then the whole secret of doing this film is that the director's been quite clever, because he's created this buzz, he's worked very hard on it, but he's also created an excitement, so he's encouraged people to take part, because it's quite a feat to get all these people involved for nothing.
Oh, he's an obsessive.
Absolutely.
He's an obsessive person. Yeah. It's not a normal thing. What he's gone through.
and I think also what Ray has done so cleverly is he's used a technique that some directors, do employ anyway, and that is to keep his cast to some extent in the dark anyway. Because if you want to, and people will see this in the movie. If it's good performances you're looking for, you will see this in the film. But you elicit that to the extent that your cast are raw to what they're actually having to perform. I think you will see that in Yvonne's performance.
The London Film Review has, what did they call the film? They gave it a great review, didn't they? Well, the trailer that they saw.
Yeah,
which is another little buzz.
They said it was on another level.
Right. So if anyone listening to this is thinking, OK, this film sounds intriguing, it's on another level, we've got 2 Oxford actors in it, I want to see it. When are they going to be able to see it?
Well, I would suggest that is to follow us, really, is to, have a look at the YouTube video. If you just Google Molly Crows, have a look at the trailer. Have a look at the trailer, and then maybe follow us on Twitter, Facebook, because we'll be posting things all the time about dates and things coming up. At the moment, there's no firm date.
Again, it's the director being clever, isn't it? He's just kind of creating this buzz.
A lot of the actors are wanting their clips, to promote themselves in their show reels and so on, but he won't let anything out. We're not allowed to see. There's only very select people that have actually seen the full thing through. So there's a lot.
He's making it as mysterious as the film itself, isn't he? He's clever at that. Yeah. And you guys, obviously, you didn't know each other before you got involved, but now you do. And will you be doing more acting in the Oxford area? Do we hope to see you?
Well, John, I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm certainly,
in the Oxford area, that would be nice, because everything else is so far away, with all these castings and so on, always having to travel a lot. So if anything's happening in Oxford, that would be, I would be on for that.
Oh, yeah,
wouldn't you?
yes,
I guess you're kind of focusing really on the film. That's your strategy
Well,
for the next couple of
I mean, we
months.
have lots of other things going on, and obviously, the film is a small part of what I'm doing, and we're not just promoting this every day, all the time. But we are.
Well, you're a mum as well. You kind of got to do all that,
Well,
haven't you?
yeah, I mean, it's Easter holidays, and we've got all that going on. But
Yeah.
but yes, I mean, there's a lot of other things we're doing as well as the film. But it's very interesting. The buzz is very exciting.
Okay. Well, listen,
so-
the film is Molly Crows, two separate words, because that's quite an unusual title anyway for a film, isn't it? If you don't know anything about it, and check out the on YouTube the trailer. And best of luck. Will you come back and see us when you
Yeah.
are winning all the prizes it can, and you've seen your film with your bag of crisps in Stoke, but you can tell us a little bit more about all the awards that you've won. That would be great.
I
Yeah.
think we'll stop over from LA.
Will you?
Yeah.
That's really kind of you.
No,
Thanks
you're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome.
Yvonne Baum and John Healey from the film Molly Crows. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's 3